Okay, my friends. So here we are, ready to leave the Matrix. We've packed all our stuff and we're ready to get on the train that says out of the Matrix. But where are you going to go? I know based on what I see on the popularity of my videos is that the ones that had to do with exiting the Matrix, leaving the Matrix, putting the Matrix to rest, those are very popular, even on my little YouTube channel. So I know there is an interest in that. And I think that's a fair thing to be interested in because it is what is happening. But where are you going to go? One thing is knowing what we don't want, right? But where are you going to go? Where is your destination, your next stop if you were going to get on this train? Leaving the Matrix train, what is your next station? What is it going to say? So take a moment, because this is something we often don't think about. Like, we don't want this. We just put all our energy in, I don't want this anymore. And in this case, it can be, I don't want to be in the matrix, the false matrix, which is, it is an overlay. It's a simulation, and I'm done with that. So then I want to invite us all just to think about what specifically is it in the matrix that you want to be done with. So it's not just a concept or, a nice little story, I'm leaving the matrix, here I come or here I go. What is what is it that you most don't want to experience anymore in the matrix? Because then it becomes more real, doesn't it? But most of us don't really know what it means because where we're going is a totally different dimension that is not comparable with the one we live in now. So that's why it can be difficult to even imagine where we want to go. I think it was in yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about, I think I just guided you gently into this place that is different, where there is a whole different experience of life and of yourself. And you can go back and listen to that if you want. So I think today is probably just a continuation of that. But really, it's always my videos. I really want to invite you and encourage you to find your own direct experience in your body. So it's not up here. Up here is all matrix. Up here, there is not a real solution for what you want, but there is like a grinding, and then because you want to get out of the matrix, the old way is fighting it, battling it, resisting it, calling it names, whatever it is. And all that, it's still feeding the matrix. So you are not leaving it. You're fighting it, you're feeding it. And we don't want that. What is it specifically in the matrix, as the false matrix, as we call it, as I call it? You can call it, the illusion, Maya, overlay, virtual reality. What is it in there that you're so sick and tired of? And when you can find it more specifically, then you will also be able to know what you want instead. So for me, there's so many things in the matrix that I feel so done with. And this has been an ongoing process for years, very much speeded up the last maybe 5 years. Um, it's like, it's so limiting, it's so fear-based, it's so, yeah, dualistic. It's like it is survival based, it's hard, and I have to do this to make this happen. So there's all this efforting and fear and trying to survive. And there is no real deep peace and ease, which is what I long for. And I have not found it in the false matrix. So my my station that I want to go to is called, let's say, peace and ease. Like, oh, now I know what train to get on. Okay, so let's look at it this way. We go to the train station and there's one gate that says exit the matrix. And then when you go through it, there's lots and lots of trains, and they have all different destinations on them. Right. So I'm going to look for the one that says peace and ease. And then I know I'm going where I want to be. I'm going in the right direction. There's going to be many others. And when you know where you want to go, you're going to look for that train in the train station so that you are moving in the direction that you want to go. You're not just stuck in, I don't want this. You are like moving out of it and you know where you are going. So, this is an important piece if you are on the exit the matrix bandwagon. Start really taking this as a real opportunity to know where you want to go, what you want to experience. Maybe it is love. Maybe. Don't we all want that? I'm not going to put too many suggestions out here. And, they may all be the same, but there might be different flavors. So that's why it's good to find your own so that you really move with your own divine flow in the direction that it is inspiring you to go. That is why longing, that is where you are going to find the destination for you. I think I've shared this many times where mine is I am deeply relaxed in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. Now, there probably is a train that says that as a destination, right? For me, because that's what I want. So I use just peace and ease, but there is a feeling in there that we long for, and that is the train you want to get on when you leave the other one of struggle, of battling, of lack and disease and whatever it is. That is really, really important. Now, because we are so used to living in the false matrix here, there is a sense that we need to know everything. There's also, the need to know where you want to go, but that is not found here. That is found here. But in order to get from here to here, or from the exit the matrix to your destination, there is also something about letting go of the need to know in the way you have been used to knowing. Because we are very addicted to needing to know something. And it is difficult to let that go because that is what we have been conditioned and programmed to always go here for our answers. And the answers we find there are only pertaining to the false matrix to keep that whole machinery running. So this need to know can be a very strong pull. And I know it in myself, that there can be thoughts, there can be some thoughts that want me to engage in them. And you can kind of feel the pull. It's like if I want to know something, or if there's a suggestion that I need to know something, there's this like rising up, to meet it and then go with it, right back into the matrix. So that's a hypnotic suggestion, and a very strong one at times, that you kind of want to engage in these thoughts. And again, like I've been sharing the last several videos, notice these ways how the false matrix pulls us back in by having you try to know. But I'm inviting you to let go of trying to know, because when you let go of trying to know, you're basically letting go of the matrix. Okay, so then, but that's also why I'm saying today, where do you go then, right? Because you will be in a place where you actually do not know. Now you are here and you don't know, and that can be very scary. Not knowing is not something that have been programmed to be okay with, right? We've been programmed to think that's wrong, and we need to go back and find out what it is that we don't know. But that is not true. Not knowing, I think I had a video on that, is actually the way you enter the mystery. And that's why letting go, like when I say, okay, you're exiting the matrix and you go here because you really want this, but you do not know how. All you need to do is get on that train that has your destination on it. And that is it for now. Now you need to learn to trust the movement of your train, the movement of the longing in your heart, and start getting comfortable with not knowing how, where, when, all the details. You have to let it go. There are none. There are none outside of the matrix. There is a whole different way of being guided. And that is by the sensations, by the intuition, by the feeling, by the sense of yes or no, by a feeling of it's right or it's not right. It's a very, very different way to navigate your life. And that takes time to get used to it and feel comfortable in it. I would say, in my experience, just to give you some examples here, when I do my YouTube, I have a title, it comes to me, and then I'll write it down. It's like, oh, that's a great one. That's all I know. I could just feel I can feel there's something there, but I don't know what it is. And then I sit down in front of my computer and have a feeling of what I want to say. And then every time my mind says, well, you should just think about what you want to say, I don't listen. Trust me, I don't listen. It would be terrible, if I started thinking about up here what I'm going to say from here. That's impossible. So I have learned to trust that when I click, record, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. And then I am as surprised as maybe you are of what comes out of my mouth. And many times I learn from it. So for me, it's become actually very comfortable. I'm very comfortable in not knowing because I practiced it for so long. Because I know that not knowing that's when I enter the mystery. And that's where I need to learn to trust and let go and not know, but learn to feel instead, right? So when I sit down before I click record, there is there's a sense of something, right? It's not here. There's a sense, or there's something here, or I can just start feeling something coming. And then it comes, and it's like when I say yes to that, it just comes. If this is new to you, it's like, what? That's scary. It's like, well, it is scary in the beginning. I would agree, it is. But that's why I would say it's also a great idea to practice that with other people. so that, you can make mistakes, you can mess up, and it's fine. But one thing that happens is that you start tuning in to the language of your body, to your felt sense. So you start knowing what this sensation means, and this sensation, and this sensation, and then you start trusting it over time. You will not learn this overnight because it's new language, but you can learn it just by turning inside and being curious. And again, for me, it's just a way of being now where I feel so comfortable, and I feel comfortable in not knowing. It's like I don't know yet. So I just wait. I'm happy to tell people, it's like, I just don't know yet. I just know that this is not right for me, and I don't know what the next thing is. So I just wait. And that's how we can all do it, by just sinking in, leaning back into this being that we are, the more that we trust it. And that's how life is when you leave the train station. You leave the false matrix, needing to know everything, control everything, be scared of everything, all that stuff. You drop in here. And then you need to learn to go with that. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. This is what I love to do. I help my clients get in touch with what it is that gets in the way, what is not seen, what is blocking you, so we can, with softness and gentleness, start melting these layers so you feel safe in it. So you start feeling comfortable in that new way of being. You can also join my once a month group, online group called Feel Your Deepest Longing, Find Your Spiritual Calling, and that's exactly what we're talking about. And I'll put the links in the description below. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know how this is for you, if it resonates, if there's other people who might benefit from the messages that I'm sharing here. Please share them. I think the more of us who start living like this, the sooner we'll start experiencing that heaven on earth, which is just waiting here for us to tune into it, right? That's what I'm talking about. Start tuning into that heaven, to the field, and then you let yourself be an open vessel for that. All right, my friends, so fun to do this with you. Have a great day.